Welcome to the Find Your Lady Tribe podcast. I'm your host, Brenda Ridgely. This is season 4, and we are deep diving into the heart of midlife reinvention. If you've been feeling that midlife funk, that sense that you've mastered your roles but you've lost your spark, you are exactly where you need to be. This season is inspired by the framework of my upcoming book, Ignite Your Life's Purpose and Save the World. We're going to help you move from autopilot to on fire by hearing from incredible women who have reclaimed their own life force. It's time to stop just going through the motions and start living your next chapter with intention. Let's ignite that spark. Save the world, sister.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Find Your Lady Tribe podcast with the season all about transformation. And I'm your host, Brenda Ridgely. I'm so excited to be here with my good friend, Eliza Riley. She is a holistic menopause coach specialist who helps women navigate perimenopause and menopause using natural root cause approaches. After experiencing her own midlife hormone shifts and realizing how confusing and fragmented the information around her was, she began studying how the nervous system, metabolism, digestion, and lifestyle rhythms influence hormonal balance. Today, Eliza works with women to restore that rhythm so that they can sleep deeply again, regain their energy, support their metabolism, and move through midlife feeling clear, capable, and in control of their health. And isn't that what we all want? Oh my gosh, yes, you have what we want, Eliza.
I certainly think so too. Yes.
So welcome to the Find Your Lady Tribe podcast. I'm so glad you're here. We have been friends and have worked together. I don't know how you would call our work together relationship. I guess what do we do? We're like a support group, something like
Yeah, and we find ways to collaborate with each other. So
we
like
sure
this
have.
today.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have, just like this. And so
Yeah.
it's just an honor to have you here today. So we always start this season again is like about the midlife funk, and how it's possible, even if you're feeling your funkiest right now, to come out on the other side bigger and better and more excited about your life than ever. And I know, Eliza, you have a fabulous story about your own midlife transformation. So start us off at kind of the beginning before the midlife funk and navigate us through what happened. What's your story?
Okay. Well, I don't know that I would call it fabulous, but it's certainly a story. And I think my story, while I know that there are parts of it that lots of women listening are going to relate to, because we all seem to have similar transitions through this time. But for me, in my early 30s, now sorry to go back just a little further, in my mid 20s, I had been diagnosed with an aggressive cervical cancer that came back in my early 30s. So I went through all of that. I dealt with, I had the surgery. I had the medications. Thankfully, I didn't have to have chemo or radiation or any of that harmful stuff, horrible stuff. But I did do everything else that the doctors told me, and I think that is why I sort of went into an early perimenopause. I didn't, but I was having all these symptoms that I didn't understand. And I would go back to my doctors, who were wonderful. I had the best doctors when I was going through the cancer. And they would say, oh, well, that's part of this cancer journey. And they would give me some different medication, so the inability to sleep, the painful periods, the complete lack of energy. I mean, I could literally sit on the couch all day long and never once have a thought that I might want to get up. Like I was fine with just sitting there all day long. So there were so many things, and it wasn't until I was near 40 when I realized that actually all of the things that I was struggling with were not about the cancer, were not about any of that. It was about my hormones. It was about this perimenopausal transition, and no one else had ever talked to me about that. And I will tell you, one of the things that used to frustrate my doctor so much is that I became someone during this time who, when I got a prescription, if I started taking it and I didn't like how it made me feel, I just wouldn't take it. I just go, no, that doesn't work for me. I know, so bad. But I was listening to my body, and my body said, "No, I don't like that," and I would just push it aside. And so I was always going back and saying, "Well, now I have this thing," and they would go, "Well, did you take that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't like it." And then they would go, "Okay, well, let's try something else." But it really, the lesson to all of that was listening to my body, was learning to pay attention to what my body was saying to me as we were going through all of this. But I did try so many different prescriptions, and so many different things to try and make myself feel better. And I was already a holistic health coach. So here I am helping other women to feel good in their bodies, but I didn't understand what was happening in my own body. I really just didn't know. And I didn't have someone that I could turn to and say, "Hey, this is what I'm struggling with." And they go like, "Oh yeah, that's your hormones." No one said that. I mean, with all of my doctors and even my OBGYNs, no one said it's your hormones. I had to figure that out on my own.
Well, and it's nuts too, because you talked about just a little earlier about a phase of just wanting to be on the couch
Yeah.
and not moving and not being motivated and not feeling that that was
None.
even off. It was just like, and that's hormones, you're saying. It was your
Yes,
hormones.
yes, absolutely. Yes. We all, don't get me wrong, we all go through these phases of just like, "Oh, I'm just tired. I don't want to do anything today." Like, that's okay. When you recognize that, you but you should get up, like you
Yeah.
should go make dinner, you should clean the house, you should go to work, whatever it is that you should be doing, that that's different than laying there and going, "I don't care. I don't care that the house doesn't get clean. I don't care that I didn't go to work today. I don't care that the meals aren't being made." When you quit caring about anything, yes, it's your hormones.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And it's so interesting because it hits us all so differently. And you and I have had conversations about this before, but many women in midlife kind of suddenly feel like their body is just not cooperating. And it could be a variety of things happening. I mean, I think I read that there was a list of 36 to 40 different symptoms or more that nobody ever until recently put it as that could be menopause or perimenopause or whatnot. So you were telling us how you experienced some of this yourself and how, but it led you to the work you're doing today. So just tell us a little bit about that.
Did. As I mentioned, I was already, and just so you know, that 40, I think it was 44 symptoms, and now they've like made like 120. Like, there's newer studies that come out and show like the number is even bigger than we thought it was. Like, of course it is, because there's literally nothing between our hair to our toes that is not affected by our hormones. So you can't like, if there's the number of symptoms in our body that our body can possibly have, all of them can be affected by our hormones. But like I was saying, I was already a holistic health coach. And even then I didn't know what I should be doing for menopause. So I actually went back to school for my holistic menopause. I'm sorry, the certification I went back for was menopause coaching specialist, not holistic. Take that off. But even in that program, there was still a mainstream medical um, um, bend. Like they still talked about prescriptions, they still talked about medical procedures, like getting and this isn't to disparage any of them. Like, you do what you need to do for your body, but I think it's just so important for women to recognize that there are other options, that there are other things that we can be doing that you're probably not going to hear about from your doctor's office.
So are you kind of referring to HRT, those kinds of?
It can be now. So I will tell you, when it comes to HRT is not for everyone. It's not for all bodies, and it really depends upon your symptoms. That's my take on it. But I will say, I would personally never suggest to any woman that they take a synthetic hormone versus a bioidentical hormone. It's truly different in our body and in how our body uses it.
Hey lady, just wanted to take a moment and interrupt right now in the middle of the show to ask you to subscribe. Yes, press that button right now. This show is all about you, the midlife woman. Let's do this thing together, so join us. Subscribe now.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. I want to hear more about your own journey in that. Tell it, I mean, some of the feelings that you were going through when you just weren't finding the answers in the beginning. And like, you kind of feel a little crazy. I mean, at least I have a few times.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that period a little bit?
Yeah, I think what you're saying is dead on. Like it is crazy making because we have a symptom, we go to our doctor, we get a prescription, it doesn't feel better, or it doesn't it or in some cases it gets worse, or something else crops up. And so for me, it was this, like I trusted my doctor. So I kept
Mhm.
going back and saying, okay, now this is the new thing. Like this is my new symptom this week. And so what do I take for this? And I, again, like I said, I would try them. I wouldn't always stay on them, but I would try them. And um I forgot my point, but I
Feeling crazy
thank you,
about
menopause.
and yeah, I know, right? You were right on. No, just feeling like you're going nuts because you
Yes, yes.
can't figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was the thing, is that even though I was going to my doctor, I'm getting all of these medications and I'm trying them, it still felt like there's something else. Like I'm missing something.
Mhm.
Like, and I think that that's the big thing when it comes to, or the big question in our minds when it comes to these symptoms. Like even when we go to our doctor, if we have a great doctor who listens to all of our symptoms, who has time for us, who really pays attention, which is extremely rare, but when we have someone who is willing to give us their time and attention, and then give us a prescription that actually helps, or that actually fills the gap of where like where we want to go, like where we want to, how we want to feel. But so often we walk away going like, ah, that still just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel like I'm getting the answer
Yeah.
from what my body needs right now. And
Yeah.
that's where I think that's where the crazy making comes in. Like you
Yeah.
feel like it must all be in my head,
Yeah.
because I've said it over and over and over again, and I'm still not getting a path
Yeah. And
to,
50 years ago, they just said we were crazy.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Just like, we won't go there. All right. So,
Yeah.
Eliza, you talk about the body losing its rhythm at midlife. What does that mean? Why do so many women just feel exhausted like you did on the couch there? But kind of we're all wired the same, aren't we? And we're all just like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that that's the key. I mean, right there, what you just said, we're all wired the same. And when, don't get me wrong, bodies are different for sure. But the thing about being human, is that in all of recorded human history, we have lived in rhythms. We've lived in these daily rhythms. Our ancestors woke up with the sun every day. They got outside to do their work, to do the thing that they did, to live their lives. They were in the sun. They moved their bodies a lot, and then they wound down at night when the sun went down. Those rhythms regulated their hormones, their metabolism, their nervous system. And our modern life is just very different, very disconnected from the rhythms that our biology requires to
Mhm.
be our best.
Mhm. Wow. Okay. So tell me about the moment that you kind of went, or was there one when you go, oh my gosh, I feel a little clarity in this. I feel like I have a direction. I feel like I'm in control. How did you get there and what happened?
Really, it really came back to learning. I've always been very passionate about, first off, holistic health,
Mhm.
and also about human history. Like I love to go back and read about how our prehistoric and later humans lived, because I think that they understood something, they knew something even without having the knowledge. They got it right. They knew what they were doing. And so when I started to take parts of that, things like stepping outside to get sun, stepping on the ground with bare feet, because even something as simple as, I mean, we've done so
Right.
many things to disconnect ourselves from those rhythms,
Mhm.
from early life. Things like artificial light that keeps us up way into the night. We stay indoors most of the day. I mean, I can tell you that during that time when I felt so sick, and I blamed it on, the cancer and all of the different things that I was struggling with. I don't think I went outside for months. Like so much time would go by where I would not step outside except maybe to run and grab the mail and come right back in. Like that was it. But we have so much disconnection to our natural environment. Even something as simple as wearing rubber-soled shoes has disconnected us from the earth. And that invention, while it helped us to keep from injuring our feet, it also, there was a huge rise in illness at the time that those were made and made popular. So it's interesting to me to just like look back on modern inventions and how they contributed to less health, less vibrancy,
wellness.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So what was that your moment then when you felt like you had the answers, or what?
I don't know that I don't know that I have the answers.
Okay, that's
but
fair.
I will tell you. But I will tell you, for me, it was so. Like in when I was 33, I had the second cancer diagnosis. When I was 40, I actually had an Addison's disease diagnosis, which is when your adrenals no longer work, and the adrenals are actually the organ of longevity. Like how well our adrenals function determines how long we live our lives. It's amazing. And we don't know that so much in Western society, but Eastern society has been living by that for a very long time. That's why they actually keep that part of their body warm with the obies, I think they're called, that they wear. It's such an interesting thing to recognize the importance of these tiny little glands on the back on our lower backs. But when I got that diagnosis, I had been sick for almost a decade at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got the diagnosis, that's when I really started learning about my adrenals and what they do and how to keep them supported and healthy and happy. And simple things like getting sunlight, standing on the ground, eating regular meals. Like it sounds so simple, but it doesn't take these giant overhauls. It doesn't take a big detox or like following some really strict diet for a month. Like there's tiny little things that we can do every day that will support our body and get us feeling our best pretty quickly.
Well, awesome. So now, where you are now, you feel well, you feel fit, you feel happy and joyful, and excited, and you're teaching what you love and what you've lived, and that's pretty. I bet that feels pretty great.
It really does. I mean, I can honestly say I'm 52 now, and I have not felt this good since before the first cancer diagnosis, which was when I was 26. So, I mean, I sleep better than I remember ever sleeping. I have more energy throughout the day. I'm really able. I have the energy to build the life that I want, and that's what I do.
Love it, love it. So, Eliza, for the women who are listening, and they kind of feel that their energy or sleep or metabolism could use some improvement. They aren't working, they're out of sync, whatever is going on with them. What are one or two simple things or shifts that they could start with this week?
Okay. So I'm going to tell you guys, for years, my whole thing has been simple changes. Like it really doesn't take, like I just said, you don't have to take these giant leaps into health. Like you can do small things and get big shifts. And JJ Virgin said that so well. I just heard her recently and I love this. She said, small hinges swing big doors. That is my philosophy, and I'm sticking with it. One of the things that you can do, and again, it sounds so simple, but when you wake up in the morning, you really want to step outside within about 10 minutes. Now, if you need to go pee real quick, go do it, but then step outside. Don't wear your glasses. Don't put sunscreen. In fact, try and take off as much clothing as you comfortably can to step outside into your yard and if you just stand out there for 5 minutes. Now, don't look into the sun because that's not good for your eyes, but look towards the sun, like look off into the horizon towards the sun, and just stand there for 5 minutes. That alone is going to make a huge difference in how well you sleep at night. Now, I would love to sit here and tell you that if you do it tomorrow morning, you're going to sleep better tomorrow night, but that's not really how it works. It's kind of a cumulative thing. You want to do it for a few days. After about a week, you're going to notice that your sleep starts shifting. You'll find it easier to fall asleep. You'll find that you stay asleep longer.
Mm.
So
And
that's a big
sleep.
one.
I love sleep. Ladies, do you love sleep like I do?
Yes. And then the second shift, again, it sounds so simple, but one of the biggest, I don't want to call it a travesty because it's not necessarily. One of the things that midlife women often hear is that fasting is the way to health, right? Like we should all be fasting. And people who are proponents of fasting swear by it. Like everyone should be fasting. I get it. And it does work really amazing for some bodies. But for many midlife women, we get here to this place and we have not put ourselves first. So one of the worst things that you can do for your body that is out of rhythm is to not eat first thing in the morning, like literally within 30 to 60 minutes of waking. So you step outside, you get your sunlight, you come inside, you have breakfast. Have a nice protein forward breakfast within an hour, 30 to 60 minutes of waking. This is going to support your blood sugar stability so that you have better energy throughout the day. And it also is another piece that contributes to sleeping well at night. It helps to reduce your stress response because what happens at midlife, we, throughout our whole life, like in our 20s and 30s, we have this giant bucket that when it comes to stress, bring it on, baby. We got it. We got plenty of room. Just bring it on, right? Every now and then, of course, our bucket overflows. But for the most part, whatever life throws at us, we got it. But what happens at midlife is not that the stressors become more, but our bucket shrinks. So now we have a cup. And so what feels like the same amount of stress that we've always been able to handle fine now feels too much. So again, getting our bodies back into rhythm. And one of the ways we do that is through having that early breakfast within 30 to 60 minutes of waking. It helps to prevent those later crashes. It helps to prevent to reduce our stress response, and it helps you to sleep at night. So 2 simple things that you can start doing tomorrow morning. And if you do, I would love to hear about it.
Yes.
I would love to hear how it works for you.
Well, I, for one, love sunshine and I love food. So thank you. Thank you for permission.
Do it. You're welcome.
Awesome. Okay. So, Eliza, tell us out here in Find Your Lady Tribe land how to find you.
Probably the best way is I have a Facebook community. It is called Holistic Menopause Health. So that is my Facebook group. It is a free group. Anyone can join, and you'll be able to follow what I'm doing there, and also talk with other women who are having these same conversations.
Awesome. That's awesome. And did you say you have some kind of tool, or is that for another day?
Oh, I do. I have a tool that I just created. It's my 7-day sleep pattern tracker. One of the most important things when trying to figure out what is going on with your sleep is to recognize the patterns. So this tracker is simply set up to allow you to keep track of when you wake up, how long it takes you to fall asleep, the types of meals that you had before bed. And also the food timing makes a difference in how well you sleep. And so by writing those things down, it's just 7 days, you can go back then once it's done and look at it and go, oh, so then here's the nights that I slept really well, and here's what I did before that. Here's the nights that I didn't sleep so well, and here's what I did before that. It gives you an opportunity to see what's happening in your own body and what might be throwing off or influencing your sleep.
Awesome. I think that's a great idea because you don't know what little habits you have that could be really disrupting that so important Z time. Awesome.
Really.
Well, Eliza, thank you so much. My final question to you is all about your tribe. How do you keep up close and personal with the people that are important to you in your life? And I'm kind of referring to your female friends. So,
Sure.
Eliza, how do you tribe?
Well, I knew that you asked that question. So it's so interesting. When I knew that I was going to be doing this having this conversation with you, I've been trying to figure out like, what would I say? Because the truth is, the unfortunate truth is, I don't have many girlfriends. I
Mm.
have always just gotten along better with guys. So my best friend is my best friends are men, and that's a different kind of thing. Like it's a completely different kind of relationship than to have female friendships. And so I think unfortunately I have to just make more of an effort to find and cultivate those friendships because I definitely am open to having them. I would love to.
Well, good. Good for you. I mean, recognizing it is the first step, right? And I think you'll find what might be missing is something that women can provide you that really men can't, and it's that motherly care, motherly love. We have that instinct within us that they just don't have as much as they're as loving as they are and as wonderful as men are. And I have many men in my life that I love, but there's nothing like a girlfriend. So to you and to all those others out there that are feeling the same way, go find your lady tribe, ladies. So with that, I will just close with when three or more gather, we are a tribe.
I love that.
Thanks, Eliza.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you for spending this time with your lady tribe. I always say that when three or more gather, we are tribe. And today, with my guests, myself, and you listening in, that circle is complete. I hope this story reminded you that your purpose is worth the pursuit. If this episode stirred something in you, please take a moment to subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Your engagement helps other sisters find their way to our circle. If you're ready to take the next step in your own transformation, I invite you to join our gathering place, the Save the World Sisterhood Facebook group. It's where we unmask, connect, and cheer each other on as we ignite our lives together. Until next time, I'm Brenda Ridgely. Save the world, sister.